I mean, it's truly been an incredible week. I mean, if you look at everything that has happened to him, Donald had a porn film from Playboy come up and surface in his past. His taxes, 3 pages of them were released by the New York Times, and now other publications have gotten other earlier tax filings.
He may not have paid any tax.
He may not have paid any tax, but worse than that, he lost $1 billion in business. This great businessman. How do you lose $1 billion? And the image that was beginning to come from BuzzFeed last night. BuzzFeed posted all of his bankruptcy documents, which nobody ever bothered to look at online. So you can actually go to BuzzFeed and start to scroll through and look, and there's bombshells in there about how he's run his business. You can draw connections to his foundation, which is now being shut down in every state because it's not licensed to collect funds. I mean, the guy is just an open, fetid sore that is continuing to ooze. And for the first time ever yesterday, the Senate projection shifted to the Democrats actually taking control again because they'd lost ground.
And what's interesting as well, I mean, the media haven't played the great game in all this, the traditional media, although fair play to the New York Times, doing that tax return stuff, BuzzFeed, all these things, but, our kind of, websites and stuff have uncovered all this. But a lot of kind of mainstream papers are also refusing to will not endorse Trump. Haven't they? I mean, like Newsweek, I think. No.
Well, it's worse. It's worse than that. The Atlantic.
Okay.
Has endorsed.
Because I mean, they're traditional Republican papers, aren't they?
The Atlantic has endorsed precisely 2 candidates in its over 100-year lifetime. Abraham Lincoln. All right, a Republican, 16th president of the United States. We're talking 100 and almost 200 years ago now, because we are into the 21st century, and they had just started. They endorsed him because of his, desire. I mean, and literally on the day after he was elected, 7 states seceded from the Union, and we began the Civil War, because he was very much against slavery. But the Atlantic found that to be very good. And Lyndon Baines Johnson, in 1964, when he was standing to fill his own seat after he had, held the country together after the assassination of JFK. That's it. And the reason that they went for Johnson was because they felt Goldwater was such a clear and present danger, to borrow words from the Washington Post, which has now written 4 separate editorials talking about why Trump is such a danger. But they literally, in their editorial, said it's not that Hillary Clinton is without flaw, because she is, but she is clearly ready. And the words that they used to describe Donald Trump were truly incredible. I'm going to bring them up here. Just so that we can, talk through it. It said, Donald Trump has no record of public service, no qualifications for public office. His effect is that of an infomercial huckster. He traffics in conspiracy theory and racist invective. He is appallingly sexist. He's erratic, secretive, and xenophobic, and expresses admiration for authoritarian rulers and evinces authoritarian tendencies himself. He's easily goaded, a poor quality for someone seeking control of America's nuclear arsenal. He's an enemy of fact-based discourse. He is ignorant of and indifferent to the Constitution. He appears not to read. We believe in American democracy in which individuals from various parties and different ideological stripes can advance their ideas and compete for the affection of voters, but Trump is not a man of ideas. He's a demagogue, a xenophobe, a sexist, a know-nothing, and a liar. He is spectacularly unfit for office. And in the 220, there was a great line in this, which they said, in the 227 years, he said that people have been in this republic, there's never been somebody more unqualified, and voters should act in defense of American democracy and elect his opponent. So that was from the...
This is a paper that's endorsed Abraham Lincoln.
The Atlantic Monthly. It's an institution, yet it cannot seem to... Yeah. in the 227-year history of the American presidency.
But they have, as well. I mean, various Republican-leaning papers have not endorsed him.
He has not gotten one major newspaper endorsement. The National Enquirer and 2 New York tabloids are it. Mm-hmm. That's it. And the 2 New York tabloids are owned by Fox. Go ahead.
Do you not think, though, that is a positive for him? All of that you've just said there, and all of the fact that the mainstream liberal media, even on the right, which, if you're, I think a good sized chunk of the voting public in America who support Trump see those two things as the same thing, whether it's left or right. All of those things that you've just said is like, well, that's why we're voting for him. All of that stuff. Because he's not a politician, a professional politician.